There is two widely used authentication methods. One is called MAB and then the second is called 822.1x. Let's talk about the MAB first. In the MAB authentication, the authentication server, the CPPM only required the MAC address of the device. For example, this is our end device and its MAC address is 1283. If we add this MAC address into the authentication server database, so next time whenever this device try to connect to the network, the authenticator will forward the request to the authentication server. Authentication server will simply check the MAC address of the device in its database, and if it's find out the address, it will allow the device to access the network. This MAC address will be definitely different for the wireless, but the same concept. If it's find out the LAN NAC MAC address or the wireless NAC MAC address, it will allow both ways. But there is a very big problem in such kind of authentication because it's only required the MAC address, so the device will get the full access of the network. But how about the user? Multiple users can get access to this network now via this device, because in MAB there is no user authentication required. So such kind of authentication, MAB authentication, we only use for printers, scanners or medical devices, because in printers, scanners or some other devices we are not use any user credentials, but we only have the MAC addresses, so this is only used for those devices. 822.1x is however more advanced and more secure protocol than MAB. In 822.1x, authentication is happening via signed certificates and user credentials. We will define the CA in the CPPM, so any device which is trying to connect to the network, it must have the machine cert, which means this end device and the user cert. If the device has the machine cert, the request will come to the CPPM via LAN network or wireless network. It will allow the machine. Also, if the users wants to log into this device, a user must have a certificate, then it will allow, then the CPPM will give the access to the user to use the network. Otherwise, if any of the certificate is not okay, the CPPM will not allow the access. Apart from this, the 822.1x communication is all happening in encrypted form. The traffic is all encrypted from the end device to the CPPM via LAN network or via wireless network. It's happening in the EAP TLS, or in the wireless it's WPA form. So let's just quickly discuss the Radius and NAC protocols. Radius or tacacs are actually the same protocol, only tacacs is more secure than Radius. In Radius, if CPPM is working as a Radius server, it will do the 822.1 authentication, which we earlier discussed. If end user or end device try to connect to the network, then the CPPM will check the certificates of machine and user, and if the certificate or the user credentials are okay, the CPPM will allow the device to connect to the network, otherwise it will deny it. That's all that's all Radius do with the 802.1 authentication. However, on the other hand, the NAC has more advanced features, which are like poster enforcement and also profiling. What does that mean? Actually, if the CPPM is working as a NAC, network access control, so what will happen, there will be a agent installed on these devices. For example, in CPPM it will be on guard agent will be installed here on these devices and all of the devices which are this network end devices. So whenever a device try to connect to the network, this agent, the on guard, will communicate with the CPPM, and it will check in the CPPM database what are the latest posters or patches policy. For example, the latest poster policy is that every device, any device which need to connect to the network must have a window 10. Then it can only connect to the network, and must have the virus updated version, must have the antivirus updated version, for example version 7. So any end device which has these things can connect to the network. If any device don't have Windows 10 or any device has a version 6, it cannot connect. It will must update this device, these things, the operating system and the antivirus. That in that case only can connect to the network, otherwise CPPM will never allow these devices to connect. There is another thing which is called profiling. In the medium or the large networks, this profiling is highly recommended and very helpful. What this means, like every end user will have a profile. So as per this profile, where in this profile we can see the username, its department, its section, its so whenever these users try to connect from here, from any other device, if try to log in, what will happen when the certificate come here or the credentials come to the CPPM will check the profile attributes, these the names, the department, section, whatever, these are called the profile attributes. As per these attributes, the CPPM will give access to this user. Which means, for example, if this user belongs to the HR department, then this switch will give the VLAN HR VLAN assigned to this port, or when it is connected to the wireless, it will get the HR subnet here on the laptop. For example, he is from the marketing and or from any department, so as per the attributes it will work, which is a very nice feature for the large networks where hundreds and thousands of users are working, and they're like working on a one level, for example a floor number 4, and then they're moving to another floor or other level via they're connecting through wireless or LAN network. So this profiling feature is also very good feature in the NAC.